All right, guys, we got the product launch master here. I am not in the typical studio. I have mold in my house. So Casey's got the better setup today, but what we're going to be talking about is PPC. So Casey, you've been doing product launches for so long, seen so much data. Where do you see PPC playing a role right now? But like, first of all, where has it been in the whole product launch? And then, kind of where is it now? And where do you see it going? Like, basically, how important is PPC to somebody's business, in your opinion?
Yeah, great question. So back in the day, so I've been doing this since 2014. Back in the day, PPC wasn't a big part of what we did to help build successful brands. So one example, took a brand new brand, never sold anything anywhere, launched in June of 2015. They did 36 million in 2016, and we spent like $0 on advertising. It was all just product launches. And that was the case for the majority of sellers. The way that I think I was wrong, but the way I had viewed PPC at the time was like, that is the path to slow growth. If you want to grow very quickly, you're just going to do a bunch of launches to drive ranking really fast. And, you used to use services to get reviews. Like, that was the fastest way of growing. PPC was a much smaller piece of success on Amazon. Now, PPC was helpful for helping you to maintain your ranking post that launch. But that's really kind of all that we saw PPC for. Then in 2018, kind of the beginning of 2018, middle of the year, PPC started to become more and more important, but still kind of launches were the biggest way to go and have success. But really towards the end of 2018, beginning of 2019, first off, coupon sales were no longer driving a lot of ranking power. If you were a new account, Amazon didn't like a bunch of coupon sales and you could get suspended for that. And Amazon started launching a lot more features around Amazon advertising. And so we started using Amazon. There were people back in the day doing this, but they'd spend a ton of money in Amazon advertising to drive ranking, to drive sales, to get their products up and running. But then towards the end of 2018, early 2019, that's when we started spending a lot of money in PPC to drive ranking. And basically what we see now is about anywhere from 15 to 40% of sales potential is going to come from PPC. So that's, 15 to 40% is pretty big.
Of like of like gross revenue?
Of total sales.
Oh, wow. 40%.
Yeah, up to 40%.
Oh, wow. That's, so I guess in a really saturated niche, what kind of markets get 40%? I know you can't say any specifics, but like general categories.
I mean, we have, so like, especially so we work with a large consumer electronics brand, for example, and they have some higher price items that are doing some crazy numbers, but we'll do $1 million in a month just from PPC, just through AMS, through sponsored products and sponsored brands on one product. So it's a higher priced product. So they're not ranking for like the absolute main keyword that has 1 million searches, but they're getting a lot of their sales from some are from branded terms and some are for more like premium terms, if you will.
Oh, okay. I guess, yeah, especially with AMS when you've got, the sponsored products at the top and then like you have a really deep catalog.
Yeah.
I guess, and high price point, I could see that.
Yeah, again, it depends, but that percentage I think is going to, so if you ask me, okay, so talking about where we're at currently, 15 to 40% is going to come from PPC. The rest is going to come from ranking, from outside traffic, you name it. So that's what we call quote unquote organic, just to lump it because there's not good insight or transparency into where that is all broken down in. So, but for some products, 85% of your sales are coming from not PPC. So if you just focus on PPC, you're missing out on 85% of the picture, the majority of the picture. And so the way that we look at PPC now is you should be using PPC as a tool to drive 100% of your business. Too many people, I feel like the people that are like really deep into PPC only look at PPC and they think PPC is the answer.
Throw up the computer screen. All right, that's somebody who's too deep in PPC.
Right. But then there's some people that are like, wow, PPC is too complex. Like, I'm just going to ignore it. But again, 15 to 40%, like that's a good percentage of the overall picture. And if you're missing out on that chunk, your 100% is inevitably going to be much lower than somebody else's 100%. The problem is in 2019 towards like end of first quarter, early second quarter, is Amazon stopped giving as much ranking power to PPC sales. So we used to be able to
Really?
drive.
That's what I was going to ask because I've kind of wondered that. Like, do you have data around that, you think?
I mean, we don't have hard like so showing kind of like a coefficient for how much ranking power is being driven from a sale is very difficult. But I mean, we were driving ranking just with PPC. We had some crazy results. And now we've used the same strategy. We've tried a bunch of different strategies. We are unable to get the same amount of ranking effect from PPC. And so are a lot of my, successful Amazon seller friends and customers. We're all seeing a lack of ability to drive ranking from PPC, which I never would have expected, to be honest, because if you look at any given market, this is more theoretical than anything, but if you look at any given market, if I sell a cell phone case, I'm only willing to spend $2 per sale because that's my margin threshold. But if you show me that I get other benefits, maybe it's reviews. Okay, if I get reviews from PPC sales, maybe I'm willing to spend $250. But if you show me that I'm going to get ranking and organic sales from PPC spend, then I'm willing to spend $350, $450, $5. You're willing to spend a lot more per sale.
Oh, yeah.
But if you take away those positive externalities, your unit margin or your cost per sale that you're going to allow is a lot less. So Amazon advertising spend growth is not going to grow as much as it used to in the past. And so Amazon is really limiting their PPC spend and their across the platform because they're not giving as much benefit to that PPC spend.
Yeah, that's interesting. So I'm wondering I've theorized this for a while that eventually they have to break. Well, as the machine learning gets smarter, they will eventually just break from whoever has the most amount of sales will be the ranking highest. Because this is, I don't know if you actually knew, but actually the A9 algorithm is just a fork of the Google algorithm way back in the day. Yeah, it's literally, it was like, Bitcoin forked into all these other cryptos. Yeah, so that was A9 forking that. And I mean, if you look at all of the different updates and histories in Google as time went on, they all these ways to kind of get around it, and then they boop, new update. Okay, it doesn't work. So that I would be interested to see if there was a hidden penguin in the Amazon one.
Yeah, I mean, So, eMarketer and a lot of these people are saying, Amazon advertising growth isn't going to be what we projected. And I think that is going to negatively impact Amazon stock. And so I just have to believe that Amazon wants to continue to increase, ad sales for their platform. And the only way to do that is to provide positive externalities of ad sales. And so I think one way that Amazon is doing this is they're now launching a lot of different programs. So third-party sellers are now getting access to DSP and some other programs that were previously only available for first-party sellers, or they were behind massive paywalls. And so now those are being given to the average third-party seller. So they are increasing spend in other areas, but I have to believe that PPC sales will impact organic ranking to a greater degree at some point. So where do I think PPC is going?
Where's it going? Yes.
Yeah. So I think number one, I think PPC will continue to become a more important piece of the your Amazon selling experience, because I just think that Amazon wants to maximize profitability. And the way that they do that is they control things and they don't give you the power to kind of game the system. And there's more, if you go search a keyword, this also was a prediction that I got wrong. So I thought that search results were going to be cleaner.
I remember this one.
And
you thought they would lower.
Yeah, and they're not. There's so much on page one now. It's like you search fish oil or whatever, you're gonna get a sponsored brand ad, 3 sponsored product ads, 2 organic results, 1 or 2 organic results, and then 3 rows of Amazon recommended, editorial recommended, Amazon choice selections for this keyword. Then you start getting more organic results. And so I just think that it's going to be more and more pay to play to be on their platform. And so I think that PPC is just going to continue to become more and more expensive. If you look at the trend line from 2008, Recode shared this, the percentage of on-page traffic that is coming from ads is just continuing to increase. So I think that's a thing. I do think Amazon is going to allow you to drive ranking again from PPC. So I do think that will be helpful. But basically, I think that as a seller, you have a couple of different choices. One is you are going to accept that you're going to pay more and have some agency run your results. It's going to be difficult to get the exact experience that you want, but you're going to pay more. And
there are no good agencies because they would be doing something else. Or there's one good guy at the agency, and then he hires someone, and then you never get the top guy.
Yeah, their incentives don't exactly line up with your incentives. Number two is you're going to have to learn it yourself, and you're going to have to actually spend the time, or hire someone on your team to spend the time to really learn it and to really do it right. I think those are or some hybrid. There's good software out there that will give you mediocre results because it's kind of a one-size-fits-all strategy. And so it's done for you. You don't need to know a ton, but going in and getting plugged into that software will allow you to get decent results. So it's kind of the middle ground where you're somewhat interactive with the PPC experience, but your results are kind of moderate as well. So basically the point is you can't avoid PPC if you want to be successful on Amazon.
Oh, I definitely agree with that. But what I find is interesting is that over time here, well, I guess we could talk about this in another video of where I think that it is going. But I mean, if you think of it, essentially PPC is simply, the solution is solved. The algorithm is known of what one should do to have proper campaigns. It is just implementing all of the software and logic rules, and then continuing to narrow it down to these touch points that you just touch once a week. So, I could see in a couple of years, because I've done that with several things. And, it's just that constant iteration. Like even for blocking my personal softwares, I get it all down to 3 points, and I know all the logic behind it all. And then now with the software I'm building right now, you don't even have to think about it, and everything's just running in your life. But it takes time.
Yep,
so
exactly.
But you learn those rules. We'll talk about what rules to use, and then you guys can implement them and show you. And you got a tool that kind of helps you do that.
We do, yes.